Good morning, all of you. So, in previous lecture, we finished chapter 5, which is fundamental unit of life, and today I am going to start new chapter, which is tissue. Let us start. What is tissue? From the last chapter, we recall that all living organisms made up of cell. In unicellular organism, a cell is perform all basic function. For example, amoeba is a single cell that carry out movement, intake the food, gaseous exchange, excretion. These all are done within a single cell. Okay, but in multicellular organism, there are the millions of cells. Most of these cells are specialized to carry out a specific function. These specialized function is taken up in a different group of cells. Since these cells carry out some particular functions and they do not have they do it very efficiency. In human beings, muscles have contract and relax to cause the movement. Nerve cell carry messages, blood flow to transport oxygen, food, hormones and waste product and so on. So conclusion is that in unicellular organism each and every life process done within a single cell, but in multicellular organism millions of cells and so many groups of cells that perform a specific function, and here the group of cell is said to be tissue. So basically tissue is a group of cell that perform a specific task. Okay, a group of cells that are similar in structure or work together to achieve a particular function and form a tissue. Let us start the first topic, which is are plants and animals made up of same type of tissue? There are noticeable differences between two. The plant are stationary or fixed. They do not move since they have be upright. They have a large quantity of supportive tissue, and the supportive tissue generally have dead cell. But when we talk about animal, on the other hand, they move around in a search of food, mates and shelter. They consume more energy as compared to plant. Most of the tissue they contain are living. So in first two paragraphs, we understand these are little bit different from each other. It means that first thing that plants cannot able to move, but animal can move in search of food and shelter. Okay, and plants are stationary. It means that they need support. And these supportive tissues are these supportive cells, this supportive tissue consists of so many dead cells. But when we talk about these animal cells, then these animal cells are living cells, and most of the tissues of animals are contain living cells. Okay, let us talk about another difference between plants and animal in the pattern of growth. The growth in plant is limited to certain region, while these are not so in animals. There are some tissues in plants that divide throughout their life. These tissues are localized in a certain region. Based on plant tissue can be classified as a growing of meristematic tissue, permanent tissue. Cell growth in animal is more uniform, and there is no such demarcation of division and the non-division region of animals. So in animals there is no any part of their body in which some specific part can grow and some specific part cannot grow. Okay, the structured organization of organs and organ system is far more specialized and localized in complex animals than even in very complex plant. The fundamental differences reflect the different mode of the purpose of these two major groups of organisms. Okay, so in this topic, in this chapter, we talk about plant tissue and animal tissue. Okay, one by one. Let us talk about another thing. First one is plant tissue. Plant tissue. Meristematic tissue is the first part of plant tissue. Meristematic tissue is all about those type of tissue which are responsible for growth of plant or capacity of division. They have capacity of division. The growth of plant occur only in certain specified region. This is because the division tissue are known as meristematic tissue. So meristematic tissues are those type of tissue that present in a certain specific region and that is responsible for the growth of the plant. Depending on the region where they are present, meristematic tissue are classified as apical, lateral or intercalary. The three types of meristematic tissue are, I repeat, apical meristematic, intercalary meristematic or lateral meristematic. Let us see figure 6.2 given in your book. This one is apical, this one is intercalary, and this one is lateral. Okay, let us talk about one by one. New cells produced by meristem are initially those meristem itself, but they grow and nature their characteristics slowly change. They become differential and component of the other tissues. Apical meristematic, I repeat, understand, listen carefully. Apical meristem is present at the growing tip of the plant, and this tip of a stem root increases the length of stem and root. So basically apical meristem is present at the growing tip of stem and root that is responsible to the growth of stem and root. The girth of the stem and root increases due to lateral meristem, which is intercalary meristem seen in some plant located near the node. Okay, intercalary meristem is present at the node. What is node? Node is a point of plant or point of stem by which new branches are started to begin. Cells of meristematic tissue are very active. They have dense cytoplasm, thin cellular walls, and prominated nuclei. They lack of vacuoles, and that can we think why they have a lack of vacuoles. We will talk in this chapter later. Now, second type of tissue is permanent tissue. So, let us talk about permanent tissue.